Hey Internet, my name is Julian and I'm back with this week's movie review. I know, it's been a while, you haven't seen my face, some of you missed it, probably most of you haven't. But it is back. I'm trying to do more movie reviews and it's just been tough with working a full-time job and having a social life and doing other things where I just haven't gotten a chance to sit down and do this. Yes, I've been keeping up with the movies. I saw Guardians, I saw Wonder Woman, Baywatch, and a couple other movies in between. And maybe if I get a chance this week, I'll try and do quick reviews for them too. If you haven't seen them and want to go see them and see what they're about, maybe not. I've got a couple other videos I need to do as well. That being said, I watched The Mummy this week, and it is the remake, reinstallation, reboot, whatever you want to call it, of the classic Mummy story. Which I think originated in like 1932, if I'm not mistaken. I might be off a couple years, but it's pretty close then. In the 90s, late 90s and early 2000s, we got the Brendan Fraser Mummy, which did really well until the third movie, which was kind of trash. Let's just call it that. And of course, we had spin-offs like The Scorpion King from that movie, which was also pretty much trash. So let's just stick with the first two Mummy movies. But this new Mummy stars Tom Cruise and Russell Crowe, and it is the start for the Dark Universe for Universal, which is going to be like their Marvel universe, where they have monster movies, and it's kind of a dull start. And hopefully it doesn't affect it that much, because I'm actually really excited to see this dark universe that they want to do. In the past, they have tried to do it with Van Helsing, and most recently with Dracula Untold and The Wolfman with Benicio del Toro, and it didn't really kick off. So it kind of sucked, because I was really hoping to see this giant universe built along with Universal and these monster movies, and to see a nice Van Helsing movie come out, and have everything kind of culminate. But it didn't take off, and now they're trying again. That being said, in the future, we're supposed to get Invisible Man with Johnny Depp, The Bride of Frankenstein, which will have, oh man, I can't remember his name. He was just Captain Salazar in Pirates. That's another movie I saw. But he's going to be playing the Frankenstein's creature. And there is a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde movie that apparently is going to be coming out. Wolfman, Creature from the Black Lagoon, possibly Dracula. So all these movies are eventually going to unfold into this giant universe. The Mummy movie is kind of a lackluster start for that. Now, everything in the movie on its own is actually pretty good. You have really good action, you have really good audio, the video quality, special effects. Just everything overall was pretty good on its own, but when it comes together with the story, it just doesn't do it, and I don't really understand it. Not that the story is bad. The story is similar to previous Mummy movies in the past, with someone stumbling upon or looking for the sarcophagus of this mummy. The mummy resurrects because he's got special powers that were given to him by the gods, or cursed, or whatever it is. He comes back and usually is looking for his significant other, or she, in this case, is looking for a significant other. Although this case, it's not really a significant other. It's more like looking for a proper vessel to bring out the god of death, called Set, in this movie. So the storyline is very similar with every Mummy movie in the past, and it's done well previously, so why is it not done well this time? I honestly don't have an answer. Much as the Brendan Fraser movies in the past, this had comedy bits in there as well, which I thought would make the movie better, but it just didn't. It could be that I was oversaturated with advertisement for this movie, with marketing and seeing movies maybe once or twice a week for the last couple of weeks. I saw this trailer probably a good 25 times in theaters, and that doesn't even account for how many times I saw it on the web or on TV. So it was just like oversaturated with just advertisements and advertisements and advertisements. And maybe by the time I sat in there in the theater, I just kind of already knew what the movie was going to be. I saw all the important clips in the trailers, and if I could have gotten away from that, I would have, but it's tough to do that in this day and age. So my perspective might have been tainted by the time I got in there, and that might be why I just didn't feel like the movie was that good, or it could just be the movie isn't that good. I could see already from a lot of the critics' reviews coming out that it is kind of getting bad reviews, so maybe my review isn't that far off. That, like I said, there was a lot of good things. Audio-wise, you had a lot of times when they were in almost like caves or tunnels, and you got that really good reverb that you would expect to be, in there, in a cave or a tunnel. All the other audio stuff was really good. The soundtrack matched really well with all the scenes. At points in times, Tom Cruise's character, Nicholas, he goes into almost like a dream state, and the music is very dreamy and dream-esque, and it makes you feel like you're not in the world that you were originally just at. In the action sequences, everything's very action-packed. The music flows really well with it. It's very high energy and intense, and it seems really done well. The lighting was good. The overall video aspects were good. The special effects were good. The only thing with special effects I didn't really care for were the eyes that they did for the mummy. The two pupil iris thing, it just was really off and off-putting a little bit, and I didn't really feel like it was needed. They could have probably just went with like a crazy eye look and not went with two eyes, and it probably would have done better, but that's not even like the worst thing. That is probably the worst thing, other than the movie overall just doesn't do well. Like I said, the story is similar to the previous ones in the past, and they do have a comic relief character in this. As I said, there's a lot of comedy bits here and there that I thought would make the movie a little bit better, but it just doesn't. What I did like the most about this movie were kind of the throwbacks to some of the previous monster movies. At one point, you actually see the Book of Death fall on the floor in a library setting from the previous 1990s, early 2000s Mummy movie. You also got to see a skull with fangs, which could be either Wolfman or Dracula, leaning more towards Dracula or a vampire itself because it only had top fangs and not bottom. And even got to see a webbed hand that was similar to the creature from the Black Lagoon, which is cool. I'm glad that they're kind of setting up these stories within this universe, so that's pretty awesome. Within the story, after they find the mummy, Russell Crowe is this leader of this organization that takes down monsters and creatures and things like that. His name is actually Dr. Jekyll. So, we already have a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde character in this universe, which is cool, along with the mummy. And you actually get to see a slight transformation from him, where he's kind of fighting it throughout the movie. And I do enjoy the transformation more than I have in the past, because in the past they made this Mr. Hyde character almost double in size, and sometimes with the characters they almost become like these giant monsters. And in this case, Russell Crowe stays the same size. His look has changed a little bit. His eyes change. He gets very veiny in the face and throughout his body. He obviously gains strength. His voice gets deeper and darker, which I liked, and it was a good iteration of seeing Mr. Hyde that way and not of this giant, grotesque, hulkish monster. So, I honestly don't know what's wrong with the movie. As I said, it was just tainted with me going in, but I'm not the only one out there that's saying that the movie just isn't good. The movie is kind of boring. And that's really where I guess it ends off as just a boring movie. I mean, even with the action sequences and the story and everything, it doesn't catch at any point in my mind for this movie. It just doesn't do well, and I don't know why. It's hard to kind of pinpoint what's wrong because there's so much good with the movie. So yeah, I mean that's really it. I mean, I recommend seeing it because I really hope that this movie does take off. It's kind of tough to follow Wonder Woman the following weekend because I know that movie's still going to do really well, which is probably going to put The Mummy hopefully in second place with still a decent gross, because I do want to see this universe develop and go forward. The next movie apparently in the series, in this universe, is supposed to be The Bride of Frankenstein, and I'm excited for that as well. So, go out and see the movie. Let me know what you think in the comments below. If you want to, you can go follow me on social media. My online username is TavoFactotum. You can find me at facebook.com/TavoFactotum, twitter.com/TavoFactotum, and also I have a Twitch channel now where I do gameplay videos and stuff like that. You can find me there as well, twitch.tv/TavoFactotum. And of course, you're on my YouTube channel, so go ahead and subscribe to see more of these videos and other videos in the future. And if you'd like, go ahead and share with your friends and family so that way they know the reviews for these movies that are coming out this summer. That's it for me here, so thanks for watching, and until next time.